I was actually interrupted by a phone call. My mom wanted something, but yeah, I was just talking about not only getting screwed out of your money, but people are just uh, like the first thing comes to mind is um, like words are like I would say not talk is cheap, but if someone's gonna is going to tell you or going to want to borrow money and they're trusting you with their word that they're going to pay you back, it's I mean basically I I mean sometimes you just got to use the discretion, but when I say discretion, I've always like given people the benefit of the doubt in the past, and sometimes like I was right in making those decisions and judgments. But basically now it's just, I mean, there's people like even now, like if I were to see like a homeless person on the street, and the reason why I don't really give those people money is kind of relates back to something that happened back when I was like 15. And long story short, after giving this woman money for something to eat, she convinced me that uh, she was getting evicted out of her apartment and she needed money to pay her rent. But that goes in perfectly with what I want to talk about is con artists. And I can go more into as far as how people who ask you for money are con artists. One thing that's easy to say is whoever needs money, I mean, they obviously have like a problem and they're looking for you to solve it. And when I say a problem, I mean it could be like something that's completely legitimate, or something that they just want to get high, or they just made a series of bad decisions and they're looking for a bailout. I've been in numerous situations where I needed a couple of dollars, and I just my circumstances was just really, if anyone were to be in a position where they had a stolen wallet and they need something as simple as money to get back on a bus or train, just to be able to reach a friend or family member, or at the very least like a cell phone to call them, because sometimes it's one of those deals. But yeah, right now, I mean, not to say that we should just be like selfish as far as the resources you give upon other people, but I almost have to take that position only because of being like this dude told me, like because he did me some sort of favor, like I owed him, and he like downright said like I'm going to do this for him. And then it was just I'm not going, like, if I'm feel like I'm in a situation again where not only is someone asking me for money, but they're putting me in a position, or like putting me in a corner where I feel almost obligated to give it to them, or just like the very sort of, if I have like a single doubt in my mind, or it's just what I'm trying to say here is um, anytime I'm gonna like give somebody money, like in the future, number one, I'm going to say that I'm not going to get this money back. That's one realization I'm going to have to come to, no matter what they're saying, whether they stipulate this as a gift or a loan. And number two, it's kind of a trade-off, because I mean, sometimes like you want to go out there and you want to make friends, and a circle of people who you can sort of talk with and do things with. But at the same time, there might be people who would take advantage of you just because. I mean, there's some people who ask me for money who I don't even know them on a first name basis. They may know me on a first name basis, but it's just anyway. I was talking about Norwegian and comparing it to U.S. Airways as far as the amenities of the flight. And sometimes the real reason it comes to mind is I tell myself I'm not going to spend $42 on the basic comfort and conveniences of not even like convenience. If you're taking a flight from Stockholm to JFK, New York, and like you're thirsty and your choice is to pay $4 for water, then it's kind of extreme, especially with the water in the sink of the airline not really being the cleanest water. But yeah, I said all that just to say, if you don't decide to pay $42 to Norwegian Airlines for the meal package for your trip, then I mean you can like choose items. They have like an Android thing that's in back of seats, and the cheapest thing is actually, like I mentioned, water, sodas, coffee, and like I remember spending $19 because $4 went to a 7-Up and $15 went towards a salmon salad, which was actually I go to restaurants, like whether it's like Red Lobster or like things in those like Olive Garden, and sometimes I order something and I'm not really surprised if it's like like I had experience in Outback Steakhouse where I'm not really one to order steak. In fact, I just remember this all-inclusive resort, and there's been more than one place where I had good steak, but I mean, I went to Outback and the steak was like $10, and it could have been like $15 or $20, and I just remember that this was like some really good steak that I ate, and it's sort of like for example, I went to Duane Reade and I got some carrot cake, and I wasn't really expecting much because I used to, whenever I went to the bodega to get something to eat, whether it's a hero, something to drink, I used to get like some cake on top of it and some sour powers, and then I went to the dentist and I had to lay off the sour powers because I don't like the feeling when cavities have to be filled. So in fact, I got to figure out when my next appointment is with that dentist. So yeah, I mean basically I was talking about food that you may be surprised that's good, even though you get it from places such as Outback Steakhouse or Duane Reade. Well, one of those stores is overpriced as far as like things of like I don't even know how much that cake was, but yeah, Outback is a place I have to go back. I don't think there's any in New York or any that's like in the New York City area at least. I may have better luck actually in like in the vicinity of Gainesville, Zaxby's, and there's other restaurants like Waffle House. I actually enjoy like taking trips between this the East Coast or this part of the East Coast, and then you go south towards like Maryland and Virginia and down to Florida, and then you're able to have more options as far as at least as far as chain stores and fast food, and it's more than just McDonald's in DC. I was trying to find something cheap, and I looked out on like I don't really do tomato chicken Chinese food, but for $3.50 I did, and it was not to say it was like the Chinese food like I was accustomed to eating like a few blocks from me, but for $3.50 I ordered it again. I would say I almost want to say it would be better than some of your options in New York City Chinatown, but yeah. Long story short, it's difficult not to pay like $42 to Norwegian Airlines just to be able to like eat and drink comfortably during your flight, and then like someone scoring you out of that same exact amount of money, if not like much more. And yeah, right now I'm just going to right now it's 7:37, so even though it's a Saturday, if there was a flea market open in the back of the movie theaters in Valley Stream, I would definitely be taking a trip there to pick up a few things I'll need, whether it's, for my return to Florida or otherwise. But for right now, I'm not typically a morning person, but I'm just gonna spend the rest of my morning just making the most of it. And yeah, probably not gonna make another video anytime, soon, as in like this morning, but maybe later today if I'm more inclined. I always come back to this because I traditionally hit stop recording. Especially, I may start off with a streak of confidence, and then there may be a point where I don't know when to stop, and sometimes I return to this only because I say, okay, as like bad as this current video is, I can go back and maybe whether it's like a day from now, a week from now, a month, or even there's some people who are like, I mentioned this guy in another, when I say another video, this was going a while back. So when I went to school with, I went to junior high school and high school with, he does a podcast, and he also does like a video streaming as well. And that's something where he can be confident to market to advertisers to pay for how he supports himself, which is that podcast. And that was going back to maybe 2010 when I actually started listening to a few of his episodes, and I saw like his video set up, and I don't know if he improved upon it, but yeah, it's better than what I have set up here right now. But sometimes it's not about the quality, and when I mean quality, I mean the quality of the equipment that you use, as far as having a microphone or a microphone that's not attached to the video equipment, and like, not, I wouldn't even say television standard, but just if this is something you do for a living, or I mean, there's people on YouTube, this is like all they got, and they can be able to make enough money to upgrade if they so choose, or just to stay with the format that not really screw up the formula if it works. So like I said, right now I'm going to do some other things, and yeah, I'm probably going to truthfully just watch TV, browse Reddit. I don't really do YouTube while I'm at home, only because even if there's nothing to watch on TV, I save or record episodes on a DVR for that purpose. So I'm probably just gonna, I had a little bit of breakfast, but I'm probably gonna top it off with some more, and then chill back, be lazy, and if I'm inclined to work, probably won't be the case, but yeah, with that said, yeah, I want to be able to have that definition of work be something that something I'm passionate enough to the point where I can do for free. So something like this, this is something I do for free, and there's other stuff that I'd rather not do, whether I'm getting paid to or not, and that's just me, and just that's how I've become to be in a position that I am now, at least financially. I mean, there's other things, but maybe in another video I'll explore, but for now, this one is over. So, I'm signing off.